Well, hello, and welcome to another tank review. I'm Corny Swiss, and today we're looking at the KV-85, a rank 3 Soviet heavy tank at 5.7 battle rating. And with all reviews, as always, if you want to check out a certain portion of the review, maybe a realistic battle or a sim battle, or just the final opinion or my take on this tank, feel free to hit the timestamps in the description. They'll take you on your way, and you can watch whatever you want. But if you want to stick around for the stats and things like that, let's get to it. So the KV-85 is kind of a weird tank to me, and it has a sort of a weird place in history. The KV-85, it was sort of developed as a means, as sort of the bridge between the KV-1s and that KV family, and then the IS-1 into the IS-1, kind of to bridge that gap and give Russian ground forces a more effective armament facing against stiffer German resistance in form of like Panthers and I don't know, whatever they were facing. The KV-85 in War Thunder is a little, it's weird because when I was researching this tank and trying to learn about it, because I don't know much about this tank, it says that the turret, I think it didn't have an IS-1's turret, and this appears to be the IS-1 turret. If you look at it, pretty sure that is the IS-1 turret. But it didn't have the IS-1's turret, but it was still, and it had the KV chassis, and it was just basically kind of like a patchwork of the two tanks just to get something out there. I think what was it? 148 of these things were built, and they were pretty much done by the time the IS-1 was introduced, because the IS-1, as we're going to discuss, is kind of just a better tank. But going into the armor, the turret armor is 100 all around, which is nice. 100 at the front, 100 at the side, 100 at the rear, everywhere in between. So that's nice. That's something that this tank has that can be used to its advantage. You can angle the turret. You can do things like that, you know, and give angled surfaces. It'll make it a little thicker. You know, things like that. This is one of the few tanks in the game where angling the turret is really effective. The hull is 75 at the front, 60 at the side, 75 at the rear. The thing to note though is if you can angle the tank something like, you know, like this, the tracks also the tracks present an obstacle for a shell trying to enter the side of the tank, in addition to the side armor being very well angled. And I do believe I have a clip of angling, and I'm going to show you how I angled this tank and how I had success with it. But suffice to say, the armor is a little thin for the guns this tank sees. Like, okay, more than a little thin. It's a lot of thin. If we want to go to the German tech tree, those are planes. 5.7 battle rating. So it sees Tigers. It sees Panthers. It can see Panther A's, but I mean that's basically a Panther D. It can see the earliest King Tiger. It can see Jagdpanthers. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get what I'm driving at. The KV-85 sees some very powerful, very large guns. The hull armor of this thing is just inadequate, unless you can get it under the right circumstances, like maybe angling like this, you know, side scraping a corner or a rock or whatever. In which case, yes, the armor can be effective, but it's kind of hit or miss. This tank wants to be played as sort of a medium, just a heavy medium. It's a lot like the IS-3 in its, like, I guess what it wants to be. However, where the IS-3 and this tank differ is that this tank, to me, it feels sluggish. I don't think the 2000 RPM, I think, kind of does this in. The 550 horsepower, see, like on the IS, I think the IS is a little more, I feel like it's a little, I mean, it's hard to say. I'm trying to get out what I'm trying to say here. I think that the KV-85 is a little sluggish. I think the RPM of the engine isn't enough to give it speed, like to get to that 41 km/h top speed fast. Whereas the IS-1 is a slightly lighter tank, has a little less horsepower, but has 200 more RPM. And I think that 200 more RPM really kind of pushes the maneuverability over. The IS-1 doesn't have the same, has a lower top speed, but I feel like it can I guess, handle a maneuver better. I don't know. I mean, I need to play them more side by side, but I always remembered I really liked the IS-1, and I remember the KV-85 being sometimes a struggle. So there's that. It's a 46-ton machine, you know, and when you look at it, for this armor, 46 tons, the IS-1 is 44 tons with better armor, you know. So I don't know. But the gun handling, 3 degrees of gun depression, that's standard for Russians. 23 degrees of elevation, yeah, that's plenty. I mean, elevation usually isn't the issue. The gun is, I really like the 85mm gun. I like this 85 D5T. I think it's a really good gun. It's the same gun, if I'm not, yep, on the T-34-85 and the IS-1 and the Su-85, but except this gun is the tank destroyer variant. It's the same thing basically. The gun, I mean, because it's perfectly adequate for the turret faces of Panthers. It can deal with Tigers. Like, you can penetrate the front plate of a Tiger. Let's look at penetration values. You can penetrate the front plate of a Tiger out to about 1,000 meters. Slightly less than 1,000 meters, reliably, I think, according to this. The yeah, even with the standard, it's about the same. And then you get muzzle velocity of the shell, 792. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for Russian guns. That's pretty accurate at range. It can take you off guard, actually. I remember when I picked this thing back up, I was shooting way over, or I was shooting like way over targets. I had to readjust. I had been playing a lot of ISU 152 at the time, though, so that's probably why. Turret rotation speed at 14 degrees a second. That's pretty good for a heavy tank. The amount of armor on this turret, I like that. You can swing the turret around fairly well. 8.5 second reload time. That reload beats the Panther, if I'm not mistaken, the Panther and the Tiger reload. You can go look. 10.8 and 11.2. Even with a good crew. Crews being equal, this tank will load and fire, fire faster. Which means if you get that first shot in, and the fact that it's 8.5 seconds means that if you kill a gunner, then I think the gunner respawn time is either 9 or 10 seconds. So you'll get your next shot off. If you time it right, you'll get that next shot off, which may knock him out, may re-injure his gunner, who knows. So the gun is the best part about this tank. I feel like to play this tank effectively, you really need to play in like sort of a flanking style, like kind of trying to sneak around. Simulator is perfect for this tank, I think. I think in realistic this tank struggles. In simulator it's just as good as any other tank because you can conceal and sneak up on people so much easier. But yeah, the gun will not be your issue with this tank. At least in my opinion, it's not. The hull armor though is where you struggle, and quite frankly, Panthers and Tigers at a lot of ranges. Let's see exactly at what range, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty far out there. Let's look at my Tigers. So it has 110 penetration at 1,000 meters. So in excess of probably 1,200 meters, 1,300 meters, a Tiger can penetrate your turret. It's a little bit of an issue. If he's firing heat rounds, I really don't know what happens if you have the exact amount of penetration as the armor value you're shooting. I don't think you actually penetrate. I don't know. I need to test it with the ISU. So, yeah, the turret, it's the best armor, but it's not great. It really isn't. If people realize they can just shoot you in the face, just the face of your turret, you're gonna have issues. But then again, if they shoot a little high, it's gonna bounce. Shoot a little low, it'll bounce. But it's kind of like a shell trap here. You'll go right into the hull of the tank, which is an issue. Or they'll just shoot you right here and you'll be done. So the armor's an issue. The gun is good. This is basically, in my opinion, this is basically just a slow T-34-85. Right, the turret armor, 90 at the front, that's basically the same, 75, and 52 at the rear. But the 45 degree, the 45 hull armor, but the way it's sloped, I wouldn't be surprised if the armor is basically the same, because that's really not sloped. So this is basically just a big, fat, slower T-34-85. and it kind of feels like that when you're driving it. But the gun is that same 85mm gun that just wrecks shit. So, you know, take it as you will. I find it interesting though that this tank's at the same battle rating as the IS-1. But anyway, so let's jump into some replays. Alright, so this clip is less about the results I achieve and more about the way I positioned this tank to have the success I had. Now, this wasn't a great game. I'm gonna tell you that right up front. This wasn't a great game in my opinion. There were things I could have done better and ways I could have played that would have given me a better chance of being more successful. But I came into this game with the idea of I need to decide, because this is when I was gathering clips for this review and really trying to form my opinion. I decided I need to figure out, okay, can the armor be effective if I give it a perfect scenario? So I was looking for that perfect scenario, and in this game I think I found it. This is a single cap, I guess it's conquest mode, on Corellia. The cap is in the northern spawn's usual cap on like battle mode, and we have a bunch of planes in the air, so I was like, okay, someone's got to get down here, and there's enemy tanks. There's a lot of them. Okay, boom. This gun is pretty accurate. I like this gun. However, the Panther is going to give me issues at that range. Bounce a shot. And I killed someone. Well, who did I kill? I think I killed the, whatever it was, Panther. If it was a Panther. I don't know. I can't read that. I'm blind. But I mean, I don't like it when a bunch of people jump in planes unless they just bomb the shit out of the other team. But that rarely happens, you know. It rarely happens that you just wreck the entire team with planes. But now we have a little bit of an issue. There's a Tiger. There's going to be a Tiger. Bounce that from the Jagdpanzer 4, I think it is. Yeah. And then boom, there's a Tiger. Okay? Not the worst. Now notice, that's annoying how the gun goes up, but notice how I'm positioned. I've almost completely covered my front plate, and I only pop out to exchange fire. And the way I'm angling the turret, I'm giving myself the best chance to bounce his return shot. And this gun can deal with Tigers at that range. I bounced at least one shot, possibly two, from the Tiger, thanks to well-positioned angling and side screen. This guy really has nothing to shoot at right now. I think if you're gonna play this tank and try and not be in a position to flank the enemy, that's how you have to do it. You have to find a wall, put your face in it, and then angle so when you back up, you show the least amount of your tank as possible. And then a bomber came along and finished that guy off. And realistically, in this situation, I want the bombers to come finish these dudes off. I can't. This tank, in my opinion, is a little fragile, and I don't want to get hit and then not be able to cap. So I decide I need to move into the cap. I need to cap this so we can win, because I'm all about winning. Not true, but I like to win in this competitive game, right? So I'm trying to cap. I've angled the tank to where I think they're going to be coming from, and there, boom, there's some air support right there, blasting those guys. So I've kind of put that rock in front of me, the idea being to cover my lower plate, and this way it's just my upper plate that's exposed. However, it's going to become an issue for me. What's it called? So we've capped. Wonderful. I can get the hell out of the cap. You don't want to sit in the cap. I don't like capping because when you cap, you just tell all the planes, especially in realistic, where you are. And in tanks, oh, this was bad. It wasn't good, that's for sure. There's a guy on that ridge there, and I didn't get a chance to, or he's below. I didn't get a chance to like mark him, so I'm trying to tell our bombers where he is, so they can blow him up. Because, you know, I only get one tank. I don't have any planes in the lineup. I don't like flying planes in realistic. Not that I haven't or I never will. It's just when I play tanks, I want to play tanks, you know. And there's a guy over there, which is unfortunate. but it can be really annoying. I think if I hadn't capped, we wouldn't have won this game. That's pretty safe to say. But trying to weave one over there. So that, oh, and there's that dude. That's gonna be an issue for me. But you know, proper side scraping. That was the lesson I learned right here. All right, so here's the simulator replay for this review. This was a really fun game. It's like I said in the egghead portion. I think simulators is a game. I really like simulator because it's a game mode that lets all tanks basically be equal. It really comes down to terrain knowledge, tactics, and more individual skill, I think, than like arcade, where you get the aim indicator. Not bashing arcade. I play arcade tanks as well, but and in realistic, you know, you can get bombed all the time, and they know where you are, even if they don't get the range indicator. It takes away the part of the game where you have to spot the enemy. Like, you have to physically see them to be able to engage them, or else have an idea where they are to put shots into their position. I do like the mini-map and the ability to see tanks, like your crew spots tanks and they show up on the mini-map. I think that's important. It prevents like a campy play style, in my opinion. I think if people don't know where anyone is, they're going to play really passively. And I don't like passive play. No one does. It's less exciting. You know, we want to have fun. We want to play aggressively. We want to fly by the seat of our pants if it was planes, or drive, you know, however crazy people drive. So currently I'm just kind of chilling in this spot. It's a little bit of low ground. I can use my turret front. There is a guy pushing up over there, and there he is. He doesn't kill me with his first shot. He like slight damage, nothing big. And my return shot did something to him. And I'm going for the sneaky little side shot into the side of the turret, but I just hit. I didn't do anything critical. I think it's he doesn't have the gun depression or something, but boom, at this range, the shell, I have enough penetration to get through his gun mantlet, even at, you know, at this close a range. So I knock out the Panther. And there's a Tiger down there. He could be an issue, but he's not, because this 85mm gun is epic. It's just, I mean, you saw his front plate was angled. I just put it right in there, and he exploded. And so it's a quick 2 kills for the good old KV-85. That's not always the case, though. I mean, if he had caught me unaware, like I think I caught him while he was trying to move and stuff. If he had caught me in that same position, like say I started moving across and didn't look over there, he would have easily one-shot me, no problem. He has a better chance of one-shotting me than I do of him, and that's for certain. Now in this game, I need to worry about where that Panther went. He gets 2 spawns. He could be spawning in a plane to come kill me. The Tiger could be doing that as well, or he could just spawn in another Panther. And well, actually, this is simulator, so that's not true. Forget everything I just said. He only gets the spawns for how well he does, and both those guys didn't do anything, so I don't expect to see them back. I'm just saying hello to this Panzer 3L, because in-game me actually knew this. Review me is dumb, so I didn't know this. And boom, knock out the AI. I'm collecting points right here because because when I play, I think I'm intelligent, but when I talk about me playing, I'm not that intelligent, if that makes sense. So now I'm gonna come out onto the south ridge. I think this southern ridge of the map, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that this, I think, is the critical portion of this map. If you can control it, you control the game. If I'd been a little faster here, getting like the gun down and all this, would have been able to get some. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. If I hadn't dilly-dallied right here, there, that's a Tiger running across the open there. That would have been a. See, I just can't get the gun down. A shot went over, and he is not going to stick around. Parting shot, but he was already down the hill. That wasn't going in. I'm deciding what to do here. I'm like, do I stay up here? Do I go back around? Like, what should I do here? There's no real right answer here. I decide, screw it, I'm going down. This is a safe part to go down, so I felt good doing it. And now I'm like, okay, I know where a tiger is. He's in the northern part of the map in that gully. If I can come at him from a creative way, I have the complete advantage, and he doesn't stand a chance. If I get the first shot, I feel confident in my ability to disable him so he can't return fire or just outright kill him. Whether that's shooting his gun, killing his gunner, lighting him on fire and then hiding because I don't want to die. Whatever it may be, I have a good shot at defeating him. So I'm thinking, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I need to come at him creatively. But then I was like, well, maybe it's an AI. I'm going to shoot this guy once, then decide, nope. I think I'm going to shoot him twice. I don't think I actually killed this guy. No. Then I just decided. I saw that he killed an AI or an ally or something. I think it was an ally, and I'm like, nope, I need to get down there. AI is not important. I have enough points for a respawn. I could bring out like my IS-1 or something like that. So I need to just push forward. Now, he's had enough time to where he could, there goes a tiger, but it wasn't the tiger down here. So, he's had enough time to position himself. I'm not sure where he is. He is right there, actually. Boom, so he just went down there. I fire, I miss. Unfortunate. So now, I'm trying to decide what he's going to do. I'm like, should I wait here? And I didn't want to wait here because if he had noticed where that shot came from, he would have seen, he could have, I guess, guessed that I was on the side of that hill there. And this guy just had no idea I was here. There's his gunner, his driver. I'm going to reload in time. The tiger definitely knows I'm here now. This guy was, I think, just feasting on AI. But tiger definitely knows I'm here. And that would be my third player kill. Third. Tiger, panther. Yeah, that guy. So three player kills. The tiger's around here somewhere. I'm coming around this corner thinking, okay, he's going to be waiting for me. I just killed his buddy. He has to know I'm here. So I'm going to kind of nose it. I want to present, there's his ass. Just saw his ass. So either he knows I'm here, and this tank isn't really maneuverable enough. Tiger, I think, is more maneuverable than this tank. He could just run all the way around and come at me. So I debated going around the other side and trying to maybe meet him. But I don't know. This is where mind games come in, and I didn't want to get out mind gamed. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to nose around this corner, look for maybe I catch his ass out in the wind, which would be nice. And guess what happens? He's right up here. Just a shot just came in. I take that shot on the move. Well, I hit his radiator. He knows I'm here now, or he should. So he's turning the tank. There, he's on fire. I'm trying to stay under his gun here. Boom. He just shot my tracks, basically. I think it was the little move I did, that little twerk, or the little, like, twitch, that saved me right there. Because I think he was aiming at my front plate, and then the little twitch at the end put it into my tracks. Just because I was stoked at that point, I just shot him again. Make sure. He's flaming, he's on fire. Make sure. But he definitely has enough, lost all our vehicles. I think he spawns back in. It's not that easy. Yeah, he will spawn back in. I remember what happens here. I'm just going to shoot this AI. AI, when they're on the mountain, the side of a mountain like this, are kind of tricky. But I noticed that AI have weird hitboxes. It is tough to knock out AI. It's easy to knock out players. Tough to knock out AI. I don't know why. It's kind of dumb. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just pounding this thing. Eventually, I realize I need to aim lower. There it is. I need to put it through the crew compartment, not the back. I was going for an engine fire because fires, if the tank burns down from the fire, I think you get more in terms of, oh, and I kind of humped this KV-1 to death. I didn't see him there. This AI KV-1, I think it's dead, but I just kind of humped it. So, gotta readjust. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so he's definitely respawned. He spawned in a Panzer IV-G, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what he will be in at the end of the game. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back there. I want to try and kill. I want to try and get another kill. That'd be nice. I'm second on the team, even though I have 4 kills. The score, the points thing is sometimes weird. I usually just say, I usually judge a game based on, you know, how effective was I at what my, I guess, job was that game. And in this game I was killing everybody and I got 4 kills. I feel good about that. Like a 5-on-5, 6-on-6, whatever this was. There's only 1 player left. And now it's just a question of who's going to get that last kill. Hopefully me. I would like that. It would be nice. He just killed someone who was, I imagine, sitting in the cap. Or else it was the guy running around their northern spawn. But either way, I need to get up this hill. I mean, this is when any heavy tank's mobility is going to be kind of a problem. I'm not going to get up this hill fast. We just capped A, which is annoying because it means he has a chance to live and not get knocked out in his in this tank. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to win now. There's kind of really nothing he can do. Either he goes to the cap and tries to reset, in which case we kill him, or he doesn't do anything and tries to kill all of us before we kill him. Yeah, good luck. I don't think that's going to happen. Especially since I can spawn again. I imagine others can spawn again. But now I'm trying to line up my tanks. I need to rush up here, put a shot into him. He's in a Panzer IV-G. It's not a very durable tank, especially not from the sides, rear, or whatever. So I'm thinking like, oh, if I can just get one more shot, I'll be able to finish him off. But yeah, it's not going to be. I fired when I had to, and I hit him, but I didn't kill him. Someone else kills him then, but you know, it's whatever. It was a fun game. It was interesting. I had enjoyed playing it. And the KV-85, that's its job. It's a flanking, supporting heavy tank, and it's pretty good at it to some degree. But let's jump over to the opinion. Alright, so opinion time. What do I think of the KV-85? It's weird. It's a really weird tank. You have to like research it if you want to get to the IS-1. But it's just weird. It's an IS-1 light. It's the little IS-1's little brother. It doesn't do anything in particularly well, in my opinion. It can side scrape, but not as well as the IS-1, which is at the same battle rating, 5.7. Yeah, I mean, just look at the armor profile of the IS-1. It's just better. You know, it's more favorable for side scraping to some degree. But the 85mm gun is, I think, what keeps this relevant. I think the 85mm gun is the reason this is at 5.7, because this gun is just too good to be any lower at this point in time. How could you? I don't know how you could justify this gun against, I don't know, like anything. Let's say it can see any tank down to 4.7, so it can see 4Gs, which it wrecks. It can see down to 4.7, doesn't see those. What is it? It's 5.7. So it doesn't see that. It sees this, and I mean, this tank is kind of an issue because it has such sloped armor, but you can still pen it. I mean, shit. How many tanks are here? Hetzer's has really sloped armor. So you kind of see that the 5.7 battle rating is pretty light. Pretty light. This tank can give it issues sometimes because of the sloping of the armor, but the gun is plenty adequate for this. It's like the gun can handle everything it sees to some degree. I mean, the front of King Tigers can be an issue and things like that, but I think this tank is it's suffering from the fact that there aren't that many tanks. I mean, sure, there's two pretty fairly large tech trees here. You have tons of tanks here. Maybe, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 heavy, tanks in the heavy tank line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tanks in the medium line. Similar number, less so in the tank destroyers, some premiums, and 3 light tanks. It's a fairly built tree. It's not finished, obviously, and then you have kind of the same thing on the German side. There's less, I think, but that's kind of not the full depth of the tech tree. I think when the tech tree is more developed, and you start seeing new battle ratings kind of popping up. I think eventually when they have enough tanks in the game, they're going to make it so you only can see maybe half a battle rating. So they'll make it like 0 to 10 battle rating and up it by a half maybe, and you only can see a half. So if you have a 0.5 battle rating, you only can see tanks up to 1. It's from 0 to 1, whereas now it's a 1 jump, so 3.7 can see 4.7 or 2.7. I think once there's just more tanks in the game, more variety, more competition, I think this tank will find its happy place. But currently, it's just stuck in this place because of the gun it has, and I don't think. And I mean, it's just weird that the IS-1 has the same battle rating. It's just a better machine, in my opinion. So yeah, it's weird. The armor from the front and statistically isn't that good. The angling is what makes it. Stuff like this, this type of angle is when you really make your money, when you just put your face into a wall. But yeah, it's just weird. I think with this tank you have to in a way outplay your opponent to have success. You have to be sneaky and fast, and that's a little bit of a graphics glitch on the gun there. I guess the shadow stuff, but we'll ignore that. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Bet you if I go for the old swapperoonie. There it is. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, it's weird. You have to get it, so you might as well. It's not bad. It's not horrible. It's just not good. I guess that's how I describe it. It's just not a good tank. The gun, you have to let you have to be able to use the gun. You have to be in position. You have to put this tank in a position where the gun can have the first shot, because then you'll probably win. But if you get hit first, I mean, it's like most tanks, but more so with this one. You're probably not going to survive it. But it's not horrible. It's by no means the worst tank in the game. And yeah. But I think the armor, you do have to side scrape. The turret, you need to angle sometimes. The gun depression doesn't allow you to use sort of hold down opportunities unless it's a really low rise. But yeah. But I think that's going to wrap up this review. To kind of summarize, angle the armor, use the gun. The gun is the best thing about this tank. Turret is okay. Front armor's kind of shit. Angle, and you'll be good. Plant your face into rocks and just derp away. Not really derp because it's an 85mm gun, but you get the point. Just keep the gun firing. Keep putting shells on target, and you should be okay. So, yeah. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. If you have any suggestions for a video, put them down there as well. If you have any concerns, funny jokes, whatever, you know the drill. Put them in the comment section. I love reading those. I love responding, and I'll be happy to answer your questions, or either divert you to somewhere where you can get them answered, or I'll research and find the answer if it's available within reason, And yeah. So I've been CornySwiss. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.